Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are doing a first impressions review. Yeah, review, not a reaction, on Avatar: The Last Airbender live action episode 1. So, first question you might have, why are we doing a review instead of a reaction? Well, I had already kind of decided with a lot of the news that was coming out about this series that I didn't want to react to it. I just felt like if I'm going to watch this, I'll just watch it on my own time. Even if it ends up being really good, I think this is just going to be something that I want to just take in as it goes. When the future animated stuff, like with the next Avatar and everything after Korra comes into play, we will react to that. But for this, for the live action, I just didn't want to put forward the effort, I guess you could say, to to specifically react to it. So we're doing this first impression review to tell you what I thought of this first episode. And I'm mixed. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. We'll start with a non-spoiler thoughts, and we'll go into the spoiler thoughts after. So, non-spoiler thoughts, I'm mixed on this. There's certain aspects of it that are actually really good. But then there's certain things about it that I really don't like. And mind you, that can happen. The live-action One Piece wasn't perfect by any means and definitely changed a lot. But I feel like the one thing I can say about that compared to this is that the live action One Piece felt like it more understood the assignment. It felt like it was more focused on trying to capture the same feeling, the same vibes as the original series. This feels like it's trying to be something different. It feels like it's trying to stand on its own without trying to just be tied down to what the series is, known for. And there can be both good and bad to that. Because while you're trying to make your own mark and stand on your own as a series, it's one of those shows that the comparisons are just going to be drawn, and people are going to not be able to view it as its own thing anyway. So trying to do that is it's not really going to work if I'm being completely honest. So just for non-spoiler stuff, I'll just say I'm mixed on it. There's some good aspects, some things that I like that they did. And there's some things that just didn't work. I'll say amongst the stuff that didn't work as well is the stuff that we had heard coming up to this series, the things that had been revealed that they were going to be taking out of the series. It's noticeable. And it is very much missed. But there's also some stuff, at least I didn't hear that they were taking out, but seems to be the case, at least in this first episode. And I'll talk more about that in the spoiler thoughts part. But there is some stuff that were taken out that I really think was a mistake to take out. More so than even some of the stuff we've heard about. As for the good stuff, some of the actors are really good. Again, I'll get into the specifics on that when we get into the spoilers, but the soundtrack is pretty much the same soundtrack from the series, which is both good and bad, because it's a great soundtrack, but for a series that is very clearly trying to stand on its own, that kind of takes away from some of that. The One Piece live action had its own soundtrack, had a unique soundtrack that helped it stand apart from the original. And I think that's what they should have done here too. Maybe have a little bit of the music play occasionally, but having the entire soundtrack practically be the same is just doesn't work as much as you would have hoped it would. The visuals in terms of the set design, the outfit design, the actors chosen to play the characters, everything looks good. Everyone looks on point. I have no issues there. But I can't really say much else without going into spoilers. So I'll leave these non-spoiler thoughts here. I'll just say I'm mixed on it. There is some notable good, but there is also notable bad. And I definitely just have to see where it goes to fully judge it. Maybe I'll put up another review once I finish the season. There's only 8 episodes, and I can figure out what I think of it then. But let us get into spoiler thoughts. So from here on out, I will be mentioning spoilers. If you have not seen the first episode of the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, I would suggest you do so before you continue with this video. This is your warning right here. We will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I was talking in the non-spoiler thoughts about things that I don't like that they took out. Let's talk about that to start off with. As we know, leading up to the premiere of this, we had heard things that they were taking out from the series that we were all really worried about. One of the big ones that affects this episode is Sokka's sexism. At the beginning of the original series, the original animated series, Sokka is notably sexist. And he gets better as the series progresses through various interactions. He, improves on himself. It's a major part of his character arc that is one of the biggest reasons Sokka is such a beloved character. Without that sexism in there at the beginning, his character arc really doesn't work as well. And that is something that is very clearly and noticeably taken out here. When Sokka and Katara find Aang in the animated series, they're arguing over his sexism and everything. In this, that just doesn't happen. They're arguing about, about Sokka being in charge and everything, basically. And about protecting the village. And it just doesn't hit the same. It just does not work. On top of that, one of the other big things that they took out, and this goes in with Sokka as well, is they took out the humor of this series. And don't get me wrong, it's not as bad in general as the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but Sokka's not funny. And he's not written to be funny. He's clearly not supposed to be funny here. And that's concerning because that was kind of one of Sokka's biggest traits, his humor. He is comic relief, but he's also a great character in that comic relief. And beyond it as well. But the comic relief part is an integral part of Sokka's character, and that's just not part of this. On top of that, in the same vein, Iroh is not goofy. You see him mention Jasmine Tea a couple times, but he's not the silly, goofy, food-loving old man that we fell in love with in the original series. He's actually really, really serious. And the actor's doing a fine job. I'm not blaming the actor at all, but the way the character is written is way too serious. Basically, if you were to break down Uncle Iroh's character in the animated series into 3 aspects, there would be the serious, cool side of him, the wisdom, and the goofiness. Those 3 are all Iroh, and Iroh requires all 3 of them to be as good as he is. This has taken out the goofy side of him completely. I can't imagine this Iroh sitting there chowing on roast duck or laughing because he found his Pai Sho tile in his sleeve. I can't imagine this Iroh doing that. And again, it's not on the actor at all. The actor's doing a great job. He's one of the best actors in this so far. But they just sapped away the fun and the whimsy. And that's kind of one of the big issues I have with this series, at least based on this first episode. It's not fun. It's actually very serious and intense, and very dark, but I'll get to that in a bit. But they took away all of the fun out of it. And that goes with one of the other things that they revealed before the release. And that was apparently that they're going to cut back on the side stuff, which, okay, I can understand that. But they're doing it by making Aang more duty bound. They're taking away the fact that he's, afraid of being the Avatar and trying to shirk his duties. They're completely taking that away and making him focused on, saving the world, which is not Aang's character at all. Aang actively avoids his duties. He actively runs from that. Which, by the way, they decided to show the flashbacks that are normally in the episode The Storm in this episode. They kind of went in chronological order, showing Fire Lord Sozin and the attack on the Southern Air Temple at the beginning, before we even meet Katara and Sokka. And so we got to see a lot of stuff that we didn't actually see in the original series, which that's actually a plus. But we got to see Aang run away from the Southern Air Temple, where he got frozen in the... Oh, wait, no, we didn't, because he didn't run away in this version. I mean, he still got frozen in the ball by the Southern Water Tribe, but he never ran away. He was going on a nighttime fly to clear his head. He planned on going back. He wasn't actually running away from his duty. And that is a massive negative. And it goes in line with, like, what they were saying about, like, having him be more duty-bound and everything, and not being so, like, goofy and trying to avoid his duties by, like, playing with giant koi fish and all. Even though that's entirely part of his character and a massive point to him. Again, it's just like with Sokka's sexism, it's part of what makes Aang who he is. And his character just does not work well without it. Having him not run away from his duties and instead just go off for a fly to clear his head is such a massive disappointment. Because it doesn't feel like Aang. It does not work. Most of the rest of the episode is pretty much spot on to what the animated series was. I mean, there's some differences in how things are presented. Like how it reveals Aang as the Avatar is different to Katara and Sokka. It's a different type of reveal in that regard. But most of it's pretty much the same in general, and captures a lot of the same vibes. Like I said, you get to see, like, Fire Lord Sozin at the beginning. You get to see the attack on the Southern Temple, and some of these changes are really good. One of the big changes is it's fucking dark. And not in terms of lighting or anything. No, I mean, like, in tone. You see people being violently burned to death. It's actually kind of horrific. Which it should be. But it's like, that's something you did not see in the animated series. And, of course, Nickelodeon, as dark as this series got, it's like they weren't allowed to go as dark as they could have. But with this being a Netflix series, they have a lot more freedom for that. And so it's like, oh yeah, you're seeing people being violently burned alive, and it's horrific. And although you don't see it, it's very much implied that they horrifically burned the children alive too. The Airbender children that we see. So that's a thought that's going to be in my head for a while. Thank you for that. But I actually do like that, because it's like, it's showing how horrific and evil this act was. How Sozin's attack on the Air Nation was inexcusable. It's a great way of expressing that. Like, one of the deaths that hit me the hardest is you see this Airbender woman who's created this tornado of air around her, and you see one of the firebenders shoot flames into the tornado, engulfing her in flames while she screams in terror and pain. And it's like, Jesus, that's gonna haunt my dreams. Like, that was horrific, but it is so well done. Like, I will praise this series when it gets it right, and that got it right. I have to talk about the actors, though. There are two actors in this that I think nailed their roles. For what he was given, the actor who played Iroh nailed it. He was great. Again, my issue is more with the writing of the character, not with the actor. The actor did a fantastic job. This is also the actor from Kim's Convenience, I believe. And, I mean, I liked him in the first episode I saw of that, which I need to get back to that at some point, because I did really like that. But yeah, he was great, and I really did like him, and I think he's a great choice for Iroh, too, based on what I've seen in Kim's Convenience. So, I really like that casting choice. I just wish he was more goofy, but again, that's not on the actor. The other actor I think nailed it is the actor from Monk Gyatso. He was perfect as Gyatso. In fact, not just perfect, he was better than the animated Monk Gyatso. And that is the highest praise you can give. His Monk Gyatso is better than the animated version. That is actually extreme praise. Because Monk Gyatso was great in the animated version, but he is even better here, and it's because of the actor. He just nails it so well. But there's also actors who don't nail it, and I have to say, this is like 0 for 2 in getting actors to play Aang. Aang's actor, just like in the live-action movie from M. Night Shyamalan, is not good at all. He can't act. I'm sorry. He's trying. You can tell he's trying, but he can't act. His line delivery is so bad, and you can tell, like, he feels like an actor playing a role rather than the character. I never buy in that he's Aang. And it's not just because of the writing being different and, like, the character being written to not be like Aang. It's also because of the actor. He's not good. I'm really sorry. And on that note, Katara and Sokka's actors, also not really that good. They're better, mind you, but they're very awkward, honestly. Again, they're better than the actors in the Shyamalan movie. Well, for the most part, there were actually some good actors in the Shyamalan movie, and I'll get to that, but I just think that the actors weren't the best choices, maybe, in those regards. Now, for Zuko's okay. I feel like he's about as equal as Dev Patel was in the original Shyamalan movie. But, I mean, neither of them still hold a candle to the original animated version and Dante Bosco's legendary performance. But that's to be expected. He does okay, though. He's not bad. And we don't see too many other characters at the moment besides those. Those are the real ones of, like, notice. Sozin is okay. I have no real notes on that. But Gyatso definitely stole the show in terms of the acting. And I kind of wish this was, like, more centered on him now, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this that it's just not really hitting the same way. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the effects. Obviously, the effects are insanely better than the Shyamalan film. But again, not very difficult because the effects were shit in the Shyamalan film. But I saw people, like, complaining about the effects, like, when, like, there was some stuff, like, that was released, pre-release footage of, like, Boomy versus Aang. And people were complaining about the effects. It's like, the effects are fine. Like, they're not amazing, but they're good for what they are. Like they definitely feel outdated. They're definitely outdated, but they're not bad. I would not call them bad. I think they look good for what they are. But yeah, they could be better, but it's a series on Netflix. I don't expect like Marvel Studios levels of, effect quality. So, yeah. But they're good. They're good. Um yeah, overall, I just think that there's, again, both positive and negative with this series. And I don't know which way it's going to veer by the end. But I'm willing to continue watching for now. I'll probably watch the entire thing, honestly. But it's definitely something I'm glad I'm choosing to watch on my own time. Because I just feel like this series hasn't really done enough anyway to have made me want to continue reacting to it. Even if I had done a first impressions reaction, I probably would not have continued reacting to it based on this first episode. I would have chosen to continue watching on my own time. So I think this was the right move to make. And I'm not going to do an episodic series of reviews like I do for like Hell of a Boss or something. I just don't want to. I'm going to watch the rest of the series on my own time. And I'll probably make another video just expressing my full thoughts after I finish all 8 episodes. But with this first episode, like I said, I'm mixed. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, a lot of stuff that just does not work, and a lot of stuff that ruins the vibe. But a lot of stuff that does get it right, and even one thing that is better than in the animated series. It has one, and I will give it that. I will give the credit where it's due. Gyatso is better than in the animated series. Also, he has a laugh at one point. Like, Gyatso, it's the actor, obviously, doing the laugh, and I don't know if the actor laughs like that normally, but it is fucking adorable. It is the cutest old man laugh ever. It is just, it's great. just a fun little thing. If you've seen the episode, you probably know the point I'm talking about. But yeah, it's okay. I'll give it a chance. Maybe it'll become a lot better. We'll see. But there's also, like I said, a lot of things that are dragging it down that I feel could hinder it even more going forward. Like, I'm afraid of the Kyoshi Island episode because of the fact that they've taken out Sokka's sexism. That episode is just... I am so afraid of that. Because his sexism is literally the point of that episode, so... And him getting over his sexism is the point of the episode. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably talk about it here and there in the Discord as well. If you're not part of the Discord, there is a link in the description below. We chat about stuff on there, share pictures, share our thoughts on things, and just hang out. Just a fun, cool place to be. Nothing wild or spectacular, but just a fun place to hang out. So yeah, definitely excited for what's to come, but also very cautious about what's to come, because like I said, there's good, there's bad. I guess there's balance, keeping up with the theme of Avatar. There you go. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Did you find things to like about it, or were you a lot more negative on it? All opinions are your own, and you are entitled to that. I can't tell you what to think, so tell me what you think. That all being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.